What's up, guys? It's Kyle. Today we're going to be checking out the Aventure 2. This is one of the top rated fat tire e-bikes for the last few years. It's actually the first e-bike I got. It's currently going for $16.99 on Aventon's website. So today we're just going to give you a breakdown of what's on the bike, and then we're going to ride it around for a little and show you how it performs.
This bike comes with mountain bike style handlebars. It has a left-hand thumb throttle, a control pad, an LED screen, an 8-speed shifter, and 2 Tektro hydraulic brake levers. The seat on this bike is pretty basic. It's comfortable but doesn't come with a whole lot of cushion, but more importantly, it doesn't come with a suspension seat post, which I have switched out and I highly recommend. This bike has 26 by 4 inch fat tires with an 80mm front suspension with your standard lockout and rebound features. On the back of the bike, you'll find the rear brake and turn signals as well as a 750 watt rear motor. In the frame of the bike, you'll find a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery that takes about 5 hours to charge from 0 to 100. Unlike other bikes using a key to turn your battery on, the Aventure 2 has a small button used to wake the battery before powering it on the frame. Here's a look at the advanced settings when you hold the plus and minus button down. There's only 5 options in the settings on the bike, but the 2 most important would be setting the units and connecting to the app. Those are the specs of the bikes. Now let's get to the ride test.
So the Aventure 2 gets shipped as a Class 2 e-bike, unlockable through the app. Basically you'll get the bike, you'll turn it on, and then there's a QR code on the screen, which you'll scan through the app, and then you can set up and lock the speed. So what that means is the bike is capped at 20 miles an hour on the throttle, and then up to 28 miles pedaling. If you're strong enough going downhill, especially on turbo mode, it's pretty easy to hit 30 to 32 miles an hour. I think I've hit up to 35 on the steepest hills that I've been on, which is honestly kind of sketchy. So we will run a throttle only test right now. So just from a dead stop on the highest setting, we'll go throttle only. Go 5, 10 miles an hour, 15, and 20. So it takes a few seconds to get going. The throttle response is honestly pretty quick. It takes maybe half a second to kick in, which is great. I mean, I honestly don't notice. It's kind of nice to have a not that torquey of a start. They don't officially list what how many Newton meters this bike has. It has a 750 watt motor as mentioned, which is pretty standard. I think the peak is just over 1,100. And then it comes with 5 different power assist levels. So go on down. So obviously you can have it off, pedaling. And then it has the eco mode. It has the tour mode. And then it goes to sport. And then the top level is turbo, and pedaling on turbo mode this is a slight hill that we're on right now. Pedaling on turbo, it's pretty easy, honestly. I'm on the 8th gear. We have an 8-speed shifter, and I can stay on the top gear and pedal, consistently at 16, 17 miles per hour. So that's pretty good. The throttle only up this, small incline hills, easily can hit 20. Had no problem there getting up to that. You can hear it. The motor's pretty quiet, but it does have that classic bike clicking sound, which takes a second to get used to, and then it sounds like white noise, and you kind of forget about it. But at first, that was something that I noticed with this bike. I'm gonna start with the little, kind of like a trail. It's pretty sandy, a little bit bumpy. So the Aventure 2 comes with the front suspension. It's not full suspension, but what I did for this bike that made all the difference was added a suspension seat post. I just went to a local store and grabbed that, and then put it on this bike, and it rides a lot smoother now, whether you're on the asphalt or on dirt. As you can see, easily got up that dirt hill. Now we're on some cracked concrete, and it's a pretty smooth ride with this suspension and the seat post going on. Throttle only. fat tire e-bikes are kind of meant for this, trail riding. So I was just getting through this with a breeze. Feels pretty controlled. Yeah, feels pretty good. So something about this bike too, it's a relatively upright posture, feels good. The torque sensor makes pedaling feel very natural. We're going downhill here on turbo mode, going downhill and pedaling. I'm easily hitting like 26 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour without really any effort. The bike feels great. It's an upright position. It's not too aggressive. With the suspension seat post makes the ride a whole lot smoother. And we'll do another throttle only test here. 6, 10, 15, and a little uphill, 20. And right at 20.2 or 20.4, the bike motor like totally cuts out, which is something I noticed from riding it. I mean, all of the class 2 bikes are supposed to cut out there, but it'll cut out right away. Aventons are not known for being the most mod friendly bike. So if you're trying to mod, this is probably not the right bike for you. But if you're looking for, a reputable brand, something that feels good, something that's trustworthy, but then also, feels natural. The torque sensor on this bike feels great. Obviously my first bike, I haven't tried too many other torque sensors or e-bikes. But the other bikes I've tried are Cadence, and I don't think I'll ever buy a Cadence sensor bike in the future ever. There's just no reason to. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, we'll do a few brake tests. So let's find a good street here. I don't want to be going uphill. That's kind of cheating. So we're at least going downhill. While we find a spot, I'll talk about the relationship between the throttle and the pedals. So, a lot of the class 2, class 3 e-bikes, you can't engage both settings. With this one, when you're going throttle and pedaling, it doesn't cap you at 20 miles an hour when you're holding down the throttle. Other bikes, you will hold down the throttle and then you will pedal, and it just doesn't let you go over that cap speed. This one has a little bit of like a buffer zone to like 22 miles an hour right there, as you can see, which is kind of nice because, I'll use the throttle, get to 20 miles an hour, and then if I want to go faster, I'll kind of release the throttle, but also be pedaling, whereas, other bikes, it's not as smooth like that with the buffer. This bike also, comes with the front headlight, comes with brake lights, and then some blinkers. So all of that can be controlled, from your fingertips here on this control panel. Front headlight, you just hold down on this plus button, and then the blinkers, those will go on forever. So you got to remember to turn it off. There's nothing reminding you except for little like blinker notifications on your screen, similar to like a car, but it doesn't make any noise, and you're not seeing the blinker up front, so you honestly won't notice that it's going on once you use it. I don't use them too often. Yeah, well, once we get over here to Crystal Ball, we will do some stop tests. Here we go. I'll blinker now. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a blue arrow pointing left, and then you click it again to turn it off. Cool. All right. So we'll do a stop test here. It comes with 2 hydraulic brakes. Brake levers on left and right. I am often using both at once, and do a stop test right here. So as you can see, pretty good stopping power. I made it maybe about like 5 feet from that Mustang from when we stopped that from when we stopped initially. So it has great stopping power, as all hydraulic brake bikes do. Yeah. Make our way over to the hill test. While we do that, you know, something that got me into the actual e-bike, just buying e-bikes, is now that I live in San Clemente, it feels like everyone has one. And I started shortboarding. I'm a big longboarder, but I never started shortboarding until my neighbor got into it, or got me into it. And so now, like, everyone e-bikes to the specific beaches like Trestles or, you know, Church. I mean, we usually go to Cottons or like Upper Trestles, but you need a bike for that. You can't walk it. So we're at the hill test. We'll go all the way up this hill. Usually I do it to the second light post, but we'll start from 0 and just go throttle only. Here we go. All right, 9 miles an hour. Sitting right at 9. I've done this before, and it's gotten to like 10 or 11, so I guess this is just slower start, but there you go, hitting 10, 11. Hill's flattening out a little bit here, and then there you go. Once we get to this less steep of an incline, we're able to hit and increase our speed over to 17, 18, and then oh, Abby! That's so funny. Overall, I'd say I'm really happy with this bike. It's a good bike for the price, especially now that it's not $2,000. It's $1,699. I got it at the local shop. If you look on Upway on a marketplace, you could probably find them for less than like $1,400 or around that. I mean, I'm listing this bike, you know, after this video, I'm going to be listing it for like $1,200. You know, I've bought another bike from Upway, and that's another person that I'm, you know, offered my bike to sell it to, and they are probably, I think they sent an offer for like maybe like $1,050, and might take them up on that just because it's easy. You know, buying from them is easy, so I'm assuming selling from them will be just as easy. Yeah, overall, my thoughts on this bike: it's a great bike. If you're looking for, you know, I love like the best brands, the best, newest, latest, and greatest. And you know, now it's got me looking at the Aventure 3, which is something that I'm hoping to review in the future. But you know, this bike, I'd say one feature that I would add to this that would make it all the world better is adding an unlockable feature for the throttle only, because you know, a lot of people want to obviously unlock it. And then the other feature is probably the suspension seat post, or make it full suspension. That would just make the ride a lot more smoother. I would like it to have like a better cargo rack, so I could like carry a passenger. That kind of would be nice. And then unlockable, like the throttle only unlockable is what I would add. Thanks for watching. If you found this review helpful to your decision-making process, or you know, anything, if there's anything that you'd like to see more of in these videos, please let me know. You know, this is my first YouTube video. I have no idea where this is gonna go. It's kind of a way to, I just enjoy editing and making videos and making content, and never had a thing to do it with. And so, yeah, this is kind of just an outlet for now. I don't know how I'm gonna get more bikes. I don't know how I'm gonna keep getting content, but let me know in the comment section what you want to see. And yeah, we'll keep this thing rolling. I'll have another video out soon.